The moment John Kennedy stepped onto the crumbling steps of St. Agnes Orphanage, a wave of despair hit him like a physical blow. The once grand brick building, with its broken windows and sagging roof, stood as a silent testament to years of neglect, its walls whispering tales of abandoned hope. As a successful entrepreneur who had built his fortune from nothing, John had seen his share of challenges, but nothing prepared him for the sight of those wide, fearful eyes peering out from the doorway, children who had been forgotten by the world. That day, driven by an impulse he couldn't explain, he made a decision that would change his life and theirs forever. He bought the failing orphanage. What he built there would soon have the world talking, but the journey to that moment was fraught with heartbreak, resilience, and an unexpected bond that would redefine family. John wasn't a stranger to hardship. Raised in a small, struggling town, he'd lost his parents young and bounced between foster homes, never quite finding a place to call his own. That ache of loneliness had fueled his drive to succeed, turning him into a self-made millionaire by his early 40s. But wealth brought no peace, only a nagging emptiness. When he heard about St. Agnes, slated for demolition due to funding cuts, something stirred in him. He saw himself in those children, their uncertain futures mirroring his own past. With a single check, he secured the property, but the real work was just beginning. The orphanage housed 23 kids, ranging from toddlers to teens, each with their own scars. There was little Emma, a shy 6-year-old who hadn't spoken since her parents' car accident, and Marcus, a rebellious 16-year-old who'd given up on trusting adults after being shuffled through too many systems. The staff, overworked and underpaid, were on the verge of quitting, and the building itself was a hazard, leaking pipes, moldy walls, and a heating system that barely functioned. The first challenge was immediate: survival. Winter was approaching, and the orphanage's dilapidated state posed a real danger. John rolled up his sleeves, diving into the mess with a determination that surprised even him. He hired a small crew to patch the roof and replace the heating, but money alone couldn't fix the deeper issues. The children were wary of him, their trust eroded by years of broken promises. Emma hid whenever he entered a room, and Marcus openly challenged his authority, sneering, "You think you can just buy us like this place?" John's heart sank, but he refused to give up. He started small, bringing in donated toys and reading stories to the younger kids, sitting on the floor with them to show he wasn't above them. Slowly, Emma began to peek out, her silence softening into curious glances. Marcus, though, remained a fortress of defiance, and John knew earning his respect would take more than gestures. As weeks turned into months, John's vision for St. Agnes began to take shape. He didn't just want to repair the building, he wanted to rebuild lives. He poured his resources into creating a community center within the orphanage, complete with a kitchen garden, a music room, and a workshop where the kids could learn trades. He enlisted local volunteers, including a kind-hearted music teacher named Clara, who saw potential in Emma's quiet demeanor. Clara's gentle encouragement led to a breakthrough one snowy afternoon when Emma hummed a tune during a piano lesson, her first sound in years. Tears streamed down John's face as he watched, realizing the depth of healing these children needed, and that he was part of it. But the project faced a new hurdle: funding. The renovations were costly, and John's personal fortune was dwindling faster than he'd anticipated. Banks turned him down, citing the orphanage's uncertain future, and public donations were slow to come. Desperation set in, but so did resolve. John decided to share their story. He recorded a heartfelt video, showing the children's progress: Emma's shy smile as she played a simple melody, Marcus carving a wooden bird in the workshop, and posted it online. The response was overwhelming. Donations poured in from across the globe, moved by the raw emotion of a man who'd turned his wealth into a mission of love. Yet, the biggest turning point came from Marcus. One evening, as John worked late on the accounts, Marcus approached him, holding out the wooden bird. "I made this for you," he muttered, avoiding eye contact. "Thanks for not giving up on us." The gesture broke through John's exhaustion, and he pulled Marcus into a rare hug, both of them blinking back tears. It was the start of a mentorship that would see Marcus graduate high school and apprentice with a local carpenter, his future bright with possibility. By spring, St. Agnes was transformed. The once failing orphanage now stood as a beacon of hope, its walls painted with vibrant murals created by the children. The community center thrived, offering free classes to the neighborhood, and John had established a foundation to support other struggling orphanages. The world took notice, with news outlets dubbing it Kennedy's miracle. But for John, the true miracle was personal. At the grand reopening, surrounded by laughing children and proud volunteers, he looked at Emma, now chattering away, and Marcus, standing tall beside him, and felt a completeness he'd never known. He'd built more than a building, he'd built a family. As he addressed the crowd, his voice trembled with emotion. We all have a chance to turn loss into legacy. These kids taught me that love is the strongest foundation of all. The applause that followed carried a message of inspiration, a reminder that one person's courage can ripple out to change the world, one heart at a time.